This is the Roulette Master, and I am so excited today because one of my subscribers, Todd Hellregel, just sent in an incredible new roulette system called the On-Off Roulette System. And I absolutely love the way this looks so far, and I think it's going to do awesome today. Today, we're going to test his incredible new system up against one of the best. This is the Texas TwoStep, and man, I can't wait to share that with you again as well. It's fantastic, and we'll start with that first. This one was originally sent in by Todd Hoover. Today's new system is sent in by Todd Hellregel and the two Todds. So let's go ahead now and we'll bet on, let's bet high numbers to start. With this system, we bet on what's been winning on the outside bets, and then I'll share with you what to do in the other step and everything else you need to know to win with the Texas two-step. Okay, and that is a win, so we'll put $10 on first column. And then we look and see if there's more red numbers or black numbers. Since there's more black in the last 10 spins, we bet on the column with all the black numbers. So let's do it. And here we go. If there's more red, we'll bet on third column. And that's a 33 black. And we lost. So now we go from 10 to 20. We go back to step one. But this is not a doubling strategy. And let's go black since the last three are black. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go with the Texas two-step. That's a 27 red, and we lost. Okay, so now we add up the two previous bets of 10 and 20, and we'll have a $30 bet. And it looks like high numbers are hitting right now, so let's bet on high numbers for $30. And we didn't win, so now we need to add up 30 and 20, and we're going to put a $50 bet. Let's go odd this time. The last three are odd, and spin. And here we go. And we lost again. That's a 6 black. So we're going to add 50 and 30. We'll have an $80 bet on. Let's go low numbers this time. And you can see we've lost everything. We're minus $110. But good systems recover when they have bad starts. And this one, I think, will. So that's a 21 red. And we lost again. So now we'll add up 80 and 50. And we're going to have a $130 bet. The last number was red and odd. Let's just put it on odd for $130. Again, we're adding up the two previous bets for the next bet. And I think this will recover nicely, even though we've had about the worst luck you could ever have starting out today. And that's a 15 black. Okay, we won. So we're going to take $130. And you can see on that last one there, we're going to take 130. We're going to put 130 on first column, and then 130 on, looks like there's more black numbers, so we're going to bet on second column for 130. And let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. I think we'll hit one of these after such bad luck starting off. And here we go. That's a nice win. And you can see we're up 70 bucks. So we restart, and that's about the worst start I've ever seen, but we're up now, and we'll be back at $10 on 1 to 18. With the Texas two-step. That was a nice recovery there. And that's a 34 red. We lost, so we'll go from 10 to 20. And let's go to red this time since we're betting on what's been hitting. And here we go. Okay, we lost again. That's a 35 black. So now we add up 20 and 10. We'll have a $30 bet. Let's go 19 to 36 since the last two are 19 to 36. And here we go. All right, that's a win. Okay, so we take 30 and we put it on first column. And then we'll put another 30 on. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have more red numbers now. So now we're going to have 30 on third column because there's more numbers in the third column. And here we go. That's a 22 black. More red numbers in the third column, that is, and that's a win. We're up 100 bucks. So let's restart. Let's go black for 10 since the last three are black. And here we go. Okay, we lost that one. We'll go 10 to 20. And it looks like the last one was odd. Let's just go odd for 20. And let's spin. So if you don't have a bunch of them in a row of something, just pick the last number and what it represents. And that's a 21 red. Okay, we won. So we'll put 20 on first column. And then 20 on, looks like there's more red numbers. So we'll put 20 on third column. And let's go ahead and spin with the Texas two-step. And that's a 15 black. Fantastic. That's a good win there. We're up 130 and we restart. So now we'll bet on odds since the last three are odd, and let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 31 black. We won, so we'll place a $10 bet on first column. Looks like we have more black than red now, so we'll have 10 on second column instead of third this time. That's because all the black numbers are in the second column, and that's a 35 black. Okay, we won. We're up $150, so let's bet on black now for 10. So step one is the outside bet. Step two is the columns, and here we go. But it's real important that you, whatever's been hitting, that you pick the column that has the most of that color in it. And there's a win there. We're up 160, and we're going to take that $10 and first put it on first column. And then more black numbers right now, so we'll bet on second column. And here we go. Let's see what we get. That's a 0. That's not in either column. So what we do is we go back to step one, and we go from 10 to 20. And a lot of high numbers, so let's bet high. And here we go. Again, this is not doubling, though, this part of the progression. And we're going to add up 20 and 10, the last two bets, and we'll have a $30 bet. Let's go black since they've almost all been black. And here we go. And it's red, of course, so that's okay. That's why we have a good progression, and we'll add 30 and 20, and we'll have a $50 bet. Let's bet on red. This last one was red, and let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. And we lost. That's a 10 black. Okay, so we'll add 50 and 30, the last two bets. The last one was even, so let's bet even. You can see that last one was 50, so 50 and 30 is 80. We'll have an $80 bet on even now. And here we go. That's an even number I did not want. So we'll add 80 plus 50, the last two bets. We'll have a $130 bet. Let's try even again, since that's what hit right before the 0. And here we go. Okay, we got a win, 20 black. So we take 130 and we put it on first column. And then, let's see, there's more black numbers than red, so we'll put 130 on second column. Now let's recover, and then we'll be able to start over. Try to stay away from the third column here, and that's a 29 black. And we did stay away from the third column. That's a nice win. Now we're up $220. Way more losses than we would normally have with this, though. So it's good that we're recovering nicely with the Texas two-step. And here we go. That's a 26 black, and that's a win. So we'll put 10 on first column. Most of the numbers are still black, so we'll bet second column because that's where the black numbers are. And here we go. Okay, that's a 32 red. And we got the win. So we're up $240. And looks like the numbers are now going high. So let's bet on 19 to 36 here in step one. That's an 8 black. And that's a loss. Let's see. Let's go even now, since the last three are even. And now we'll go to 20. And then after this, we add up the two previous bets for our next bet. And that's a 34 red. We won, so we put $20 on first column. And then there's still, most of the numbers are black. So we'll pick second column instead of third. And here we go. That's a 12 red. And we lost. So it would have helped if it was a black number. And we were at 20. We add up 20 and 10, and our next bet will be $30. And let's go even. And we've had a bunch of even numbers in a row now. So let's see if it continues. All right, here we go. It did not. We just lost. So now we'll add up 30 and 20. We'll have a $50 bet. The last two are low. So let's bet low for 50, 1 to 18. And that's a win. So we'll take that 50 and we'll put it on first column. And then looks like, see, we still have more black numbers. So we'll put 50 on the column with the black numbers, the second column, and let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 29 black. And we recovered. Fantastic. Now we're up $280. And let's go black 410 since the last three numbers are black. And here we go. That's a 29 black. So we'll take the win. And now we'll be on first and second since there's more black numbers than red. We're always on first column. And here we go. That's a 34 red. That's a nice win. So we're up $300 now. And it looks like we need to bet high since the last three numbers are high numbers. And here we go. Lost that one on a 2 black. So now let's bet even for 20. And we're going 10, 20, and then adding up the two previous for our next bets. And that's a 28 black. We won, so we put 20 on first column and then 20 on second column because it has most of the black numbers, which are in the, we've had mostly black numbers in the last 10 spins. And that's a 14 red. That's a nice win. We're up $330. This is really working great, just like last time we tested this. And I hope you're liking the Texas two-step because we've had really bad luck with it and we're winning a lot of money. So that's a good combination. That's a win. So we'll put 10 and 10. Still more black numbers. And here we go. We're in step 2 of the Texas two-step. And that's a 12 red. And we lost. So we go from 10 to 20 and go back to step 1. We'll bet on red since red's been winning. And here we go. We lost. So we add 20 plus 10 now. The last two bets. And now we'll have a $30 bet on even. The last, oh my goodness, the last 7 spins are even. Okay, let's see if it continues. It did not. We lost again. So we will add 30 plus 20, the last two bets, and we'll have a $50 bet. Let's go 19 to 36. We're up $270 right now. And let's see what we get here. Okay, that's a win on 31 black. So we'll put 50 on first column. And we see we have 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. We have more red numbers now, so we're going to switch. And we're going to have 50 on third where the red numbers are. Third column, that is. And here we go. All right, that's a 4 black. But that's a win. Fantastic. We're up $370. And let's see, we'll go black now since the last two are black. And spin in step 1 of the Texas two-step. That's a 15 black. That's a win. So we put 10 on first column and 10 on, let's see, now we have more black numbers. So we'll be betting on second column instead of third. That's a 29 black. Fantastic. That's another win. We're up $390. And we'll bet on black and see if that trend continues. All right, here we go. That's a 2 black. Okay, we'll put 10 here. And there's more black numbers. So we're betting on second column where the black numbers are. That's a 14 red. That's a win. We're up $410, and we'll go even now since the last two are even. We're sticking with the trend, whatever the trend is. And that's a 19 red. Okay, we lost. So we will now go red for 20. Again, we're not doubling. We're just going 10, 20, and then adding up the two previous bets for our next bet. And that's a 32 red. We got the win. So we put 20 on first column, and we have more black numbers than red. So we'll put 20 on second column where the black numbers are. And here we go. That's a 27 red. And we lost. So we go from 20. 20 plus 10 is 30, and we'll be betting on red and staying with the trend. When you lose in step 2, you just go back to step 1 and go up in the progression. And that's a 10 black. We lost, so I had 30 plus 20. And let's go black. That's a $50 bet, and let's spin. All right, we got the win. So we'll put 50 on third column. And then we'll also put 50, it looks like, on second column because mostly black numbers. And let's go ahead and spend 50 each, 100 total on the bet. And that's a 20 black, and that's a good thing that the numbers went that way. And now we're at $450. So we'll bet on black for 10. We're back to step 1. And the Texas TwoStep's kicking some serious butt, especially since we started out with such horrible numbers and really bad luck, and it's still making a ton of money. We lost, so we'll go 10 to 20. And this will be our final spin on 19 to 36 with the Texas TwoStep. And we lost. So after 15 minutes of play with the Texas TwoStep, we made $420 profit. That is awesome, especially with all the bad luck that we had at the beginning with that system, and it really recovered nicely. So now it is time for the new roulette system of the day from Todd Hellriegel. That's the on-off roulette system. I can't wait to try this one out and see what you guys think. It looks awesome, and here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the incredible new on-off roulette system by Todd Hellriegel. Let's go ahead and place the bets, and here we go. So we're going to start with dollar bets on the 1, the 5, the 7, the 9, the 11, the 13, the 15, the 17, the 21, and the 23. That's a $10 starting bet. And this works out really well because a lot of tables have a $10 inside minimum bet. And you can see we have a zero balance. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's an 11 black. Okay, we started with a nice $26 win. So we're up 26 bucks. We just rebet and spin, and this is the on-off roulette system. All you have to do is keep track of whether you're on or you're off, and we'll go over how here in a second. So we start out off. Once we go on, we increase by 1 unit on everything. So we go from 1 to 2, and let's go ahead and spin again here. Now we are on. And that's a 00. We lost. Every time we lose, we go back and forth between on and off. So the cool thing is you can stay on, which we'll talk about here in a second. So now we are off, and that means we keep the bets the same and spin again. All right, here we go. That's a 29 black. Okay, we lost, so now we're back on, which means we add a unit to each one of these. Just like that. And then we go ahead and spin. And again, you can stay on. And that's the cool thing. And that's a 24 black. But now we're back off, which means we're not. And we're minus $54. It means we're not increasing the bets when we're off. And here we go. That's a 7 red. And that's a $78 win. We're up $24. And we're going to go ahead and reset back to 10. Okay, and let's go ahead and do that and spin again here. That's a 6 black. And we lost, so now we're on. So we add $1 to each and spin. And hopefully we'll get a chance to stay on for a little bit and make some good money here today, especially just with dollar units. Okay, we lost, so now we're off, which means the bet stays the same. Let's go ahead and spin again here with the on-off roulette system by Todd Hellriegel. And that's a 14 red. And now we're back on. Every time you lose, you go from off to on or the opposite. So let's add $1 to each of these. Just like that. Okay, now we have a $30 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And that's a 13 black. Fantastic. That's a $78 win. Now we're at $52. Let's go back to 10. And I'll explain to you coming up here. And let's just put those bets back out again. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 21, and 23. Oops, one too many there. There we go. When we get behind, that's when we're going to stay on. And then that's going to get us back in profit. So That's a nice $26 win. We're up $78. We'll just rebet and spin. We start out in the off position, so we're off right now. And that's a 5 red. All right, another $26 win. We're up $104, which is really good for dollar units. And let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Okay, that's a 0, so that's definitely a loss. And now we are on. So we go up $1 or 1 unit on each of these numbers. And here we go. That's a 15 black. Fantastic. That's a $52 win. Now we're up $146 just playing dollar units. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to 10. Again, we're going to stay on, but only when we need to. We're going to stay on when it's time, when we get behind and want to catch back up. That's a 30 red. Okay, so now we're on. So we increase those from $1 to $2 or 1 unit to 2 units. And here we go. That's a 28 black. So now we're off. Every time you lose, you go from on to off. So we're off, and that means we don't increase the bet, and let's go ahead and spin. That's a 17 black. That's a nice win. Now we're up $168, and we're going back to 10, where we started with a dollar unit on each. And again, that's nice because a lot of places you need at least $10 on the inside, and that does it. So now we're going on, so $1 to $2 or 1 unit to 2 units. We're not doubling, just going up a unit, and that's a 21 red. Okay, that's a $52 win. We're up $210 now. So back to 10, back to off position, and let me fix that. There we go. So you always start off in the off position, and if you lose, you go to on and increase by 1 unit. Okay, we lost, so now we're on, and we go from 1 unit to 2 units. And that takes you from 10 to 20. But again, not doubling, going up a unit, and that's a 1 red. Fantastic, another $52 win. We're up $252 with just dollar units. Let's go back to 10. And again, you can stay in the on position if you get behind and need to catch back up to your session profit. And again, because once you are in the on position, the only thing that takes you out of that is losing. So if you keep winning, you can stay in there. And we're going to go ahead and go on and add a unit to each of these. And here we go. That's an 8 black. So now we're off because we lost. We're up $222. So that means we don't increase the bets. Let's go ahead and spin. That's a 28 black. Okay, now we're back on again. So we add $1 or 1 unit to each one of these. Now we have 3 units on each. And that's a $30 total bet. Here we go. That's a 29 black. Okay, so now we're off, and we're up $172. Let's just rebet and spin because we're in the off position. Here we go. That's a 7 red. That should be good. That's a $78 win. We're up $250. We reset back to 10. And here we go. Back in business, and let's get a win here. That's a loss, so we go from off to on. And we increase by 1 unit every time we go to the on position. That's a 36 red, so now that switched us to off. So we don't increase. We just rebet and spin. And let's see what we get here. That's a 33 black. And now we switch from off to on. And we go up a unit. So now we'll have 3 on each. Here we go. Okay, now we have a $30 total bet, and we're in the on position. That's a 25 red, and we lost. So we go to the off position, which means we don't increase. We're up 170, and let's go ahead and spin. We're in the off position, but if we lose here, it'll go back on. But I think we got a win there. and that's a $78 win. We're up $248. We reset back to 10. But again, if you get in a position where you're way down with this system, then if you get a win, you stay in the on position. And here we go. That's a 23 red. That's a nice $26 win. We're up $274. Let's go ahead and spin again here. And that's a 30 red. Okay, so now we'll go from off to on and add a unit to each one of these. Here we go. That's a 24 black. Okay, and that's a loss. So we will stay, or I'm sorry, we go from on to off, so we don't increase. And that's a 10 black. We lost, so now we switch back to on. We go up a unit, and that'll put 3 on each of these, just like that. And this is a $2,000 bankroll system. You can play it with 1,000, but it's safer if you have 2,000. That's up to you. If you want to, the higher your bankroll, the better chance you have of recovering if things go bad. But we definitely haven't needed the $2,000 bankroll today. So let's go ahead and we'll go up now from 3 to 4. Okay, and we're in the on position. Let's go ahead and spin and see if we can get a win here. That's a 28 black. Now we're in the off position. And you can see we're only up $154 right now. So this is definitely a system, and we're not increasing because we're at off. The system where you want to cash out when you get some really good wins. And here we go. Okay, so now we're back to the on position. Let's add another unit, which puts 5 units on each instead of 4. And spin. And again, we're going to stay in the on position if we get a win and we're not where we need to be. That's a 5 red. That's a $130 win. We're up $244, so we're close enough to session profit. We want to reset, but if we were not, we would just we would keep going and stay in the on position. So let's go back to 10. And here we go. That's a 29 black. We lost, and we were in the off position, which we always start in the off position. So we go to on now and spin again. And here we go. That's a 30 red. Okay, now we switch back off, and we keep the bets the same. And spin. And that's a 21 red. That should be a win. $52 win. We're up $266. We go back to 10. And we haven't really been in too much trouble yet to have to stay in the on position. And any chance you get, you should reset. So that's a win. We're up $292, almost $300 profit now. So let's continue here in the off position and see what we get. And that's a 9 red. That's a good one. Okay, we're up $318. Fantastic. All right, let's see how this one closes out here in the last 2 to 3 minutes. And that's an 11 black. This is a nice run. And now we're up $344. And we'll stay in that off position. And here we go. Okay, that's a 3 red. Okay, now we'll go to the on position and spin. Here we go. That's a 17 black. $52 win. We're up $386. So let's go back to 10. Back in the off position. And making a lot of money with this one today, but it's really important to start with small bets and have a good sized bankroll with this one. And that's a loss, so we go from off to on and have 2 units now instead of 1, but we're not doubling, going up a unit. That's a 35 black. We switch to the off position, so we keep the bets the same and spin. Here we go. Okay, and we'll switch back on now. And we'll add a unit to each. Okay, $3 on each now. And spin. Then we'll check our balance after this spin. And we're in the on position now. That's a 31 black. We lost. So we'll go to off and keep the bets the same. We're up $306 right now. And let's see what we get. We're in the off position. And that's a 12 red. So we switch back on after that loss. And let's go up another unit. So we'll go to 4. Here we go. Okay, now we're at a $40 total bet in the on position. That's a 29 black. We lost. So we go to the off position and keep the bets the same. We're up $236 now. And that's a 9 red. Fantastic. It's a $104 win. We're up $340. We reset back to 10. But again, if you get to the position where you're down or nowhere near session profit, you can stay in the on position. But if you have a chance, you should always reset back to the off position at base level. And that's a 20 black. We lost, so we'll switch from off to on. Add 1 unit to each and spin. That's an 8 black. Okay, we lost. And let's see. Excuse me there. Boy, that had some allergies today playing golf today. Okay, so we're going to keep that the same and spin in the off position. And this will be our final spin. That's a 23 red. $52 win. We made $362 profit on with this on-off roulette system from Todd Hellriegel today. And it's real important to start with small bets like dollar units. You still meet the table minimum of $10, which is a lot of them are at that. And but start with a small bet like dollar units, and this does have a $2,000 bankroll. You can probably play it with $1,000, but always better to have more if you can. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this one, as always. And if you want to send a system in, send it to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. We pick a new one every single day of the week, 365 days of the year, in the search for the best roulette system possible each and every day. If you're enjoying that search with me, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.